Making things happen is what we do.
Are you trying to make a new theme song?
That's our theme song. That's what we do. We make things happen. We are simply amazing at making things happen.
This is true. This is true. We'll find a way to make it catchier and put it on a t-shirt, but it'll happen.
That's true. It's going to happen because you know what we do? We make things happen.
We manifest. Simply amazing manifestations. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode where we're going to catalog all the manifestations we've come up with. And
Yes.
in particular, the newest ones we've come up with.
Our vibrations right now in the universe are really crazy because our manifestations are coming like nothing else. It is like one after the other. It is just bam, 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 bam. Manifestation. You know what's not manifesting is my hair is not manifesting right now. My hair looks ridiculous. But
you know what's not manifesting? Marvel getting their shit together. You'd think us predicting all these things would mean we'd be very happy with Marvel, but somehow Marvel is still on the thinnest of thin ice.
Oh my god, Marvel's ice is so thin. It's like it's a joke that Arnold Schwarzenegger would make in a Joel Schumacher movie. That's how thin the ice is.
I feel like that was an insult they could have used in the movie White Chicks.
Probably. I love that movie. That is such a stupid movie that I love so much. White Chicks.
It's very stupid. It doesn't hold up well for me. It doesn't hold up as well for me now as a whole, but there's still parts of it in particular that I'm like, God, these are so good though still.
Just the scene with Terry Crews and like I think it's Michelle Branch, the Michelle Branch song.
Vanessa Carlton. God
Vanessa
damn it, Lisa.
Oh my God. All right, whatever. I'm sorry, okay? Whatever. I'm sorry. Make your way downtown. Well, Vanessa Carlton, if you would like to sponsor the pod, whatever. We haven't even introduced ourselves. Hi, guys. We're Simply Amazing, the Nightcrawler podcast, and we're going to talk about Nightcrawler again, even though we had our little exile for a bit. And we'll get back to that, too. Yeah, we'll get back to that. I'm the OG Nocturne. And of course, I am flanked here by my side is the gorgeous, she's looking super professional today in her double-breasted little suit jacket.
It's not a suit jacket. It's like a band jacket, like a hipster band jacket you'd see like with the British fucks. No offense, British people, but it's that like preppy aesthetic, and I'm not a very preppy person, but I love this preppy aesthetic.
It's giving me Sergeant Pepper. It's giving me Sergeant Pepper.
It's a great way to try to see what kind of jacket this is. This is nowhere near as colorful. It's just navy, but the exact same kind of style.
It's a very like Union soldier from the Civil War meets Sergeant Pepper meets Lauren's like getting a Cosmo after work.
Yes. Well, listen. So I'm Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bot, in case you guys don't know me, and I am here soldiering on Kurt's behalf because out of all these manifestations that have come true, Kurt is still getting fucked over actively in the canon, and also out of canon because we got nothing of Kurt out of canon, even though there's stuff that could be better if it was AU, but whatever. We'll get to that. So I'm here fighting for Kurt. I'm here to speak on his behalf.
Yes, we are Kurt's warriors. We are the Kurt Strong, the Kurt Brave and the Kurt Strong.
I love that.
Yes, we are fighting for him, for his survival, for his everything.
We should make the bracelets like the old like Live Strong ones, except they're blue and they say hashtag Kurt Strong in like red.
Oh my God. Okay, write it down. It goes on the list. Kurt Strong.
On the list of things we have to do.
Yeah. We should do like a Kurt half marathon, except you don't have to run it. You just have to get from the like beginning to end of it. Doesn't matter how you get there.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, half of us are just gonna be like, we're gonna bamf because that's what Kurt we're doing.
That's honestly, exactly it. It doesn't matter how you get there. You just have to get from point A to point B. So you can, bicycle. You can just take a car. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
You can, use your tail and hook on some street lamps and fling yourself around, like crawl on walls, whatever you want to do.
It's a Bamfathon.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. Manifesting, universe. Take it, girl.
We need a Kurt con. Listen, it'd be the smallest con, but I don't care.
It'll be like me, you, and Anna. Like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, get the word out, guys. If you would go to like a little Kurt convention, let us know. Because I think if we had the interest in the next like 2 or 3 years, that would be really cool.
Maybe a Kurt Cruise.
Lisa, what the heck? We're supposed to be talking about what we've already manifested, but we're just coming up with other manifestations.
I'm just sending it out there to the universe, and the universe can take whatever it wants and make it happen.
I would like to see it.
So let's talk about these manifestations that we've made happen. So let's talk about the shitty one first and get it out of the way, so we can just like like acknowledge it and move on. Yes. So, Azazel's back.
Ugh. Who the fuck asked for him? Like, we asked, but we knew Marvel was gonna fuck up. We caught you in 4K, Marvel. Caught!
I just want to know what Chuck Austin knows. Like, what does he have on those? What does he have on someone at Marvel that they're like, okay, all right. But anyway, he's back. He's going to be in Dark X-Men or whatever it's called. I don't know. Let's see what they do with him.
I mean, who the fuck cares about Azazel? Literally, is there anybody that has Azazel as their favorite character ever? I mean, there's like 9 billion people in the world, so probably somebody. And like, not to shit on your day or anybody, but like, Jesus, like, his only purpose is being Kurt's shit father. That is it.
All right, listen. If Azazel is your favorite character ever, write to us. I want to fight you.
Come on the pod and fight, Lisa.
I will fly you to New York to fight.
Honestly, I would like to see it. So, if you are that person that hates Azazel, let us know.
No, that loves Azazel.
Oh, loves. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you hate Azazel, we already love you. Like, we're already trying to you daily. So,
and of course, I mean by fight, I mean love, and with hugs and kisses and everything.
We will aggressively love you. We will love you right out the door.
Exactly. Very aggressively. All right, this is going in a really weird direction, but yeah, Azazel's back. That's the first thing that we've somehow manifested in, because here's the problem with manifestation is that you manifest the things that you put out into the universe, and sometimes when you focus on the things you don't want, that makes things come about. So we have just focused on Azazel too much in this podcast. We've talked about him too much, and that is what has happened. Somehow we're just not talking about Nocturne enough, and that's going to have to change. So clearly we're going to have to talk about Nocturne a whole lot more than we have been.
That manifestation is in the queue. That is next in the queue, Lisa.
Somehow she keeps getting bumped by freaking Azazel. I don't know. So
it's a shit bump in the road. Anyways, yeah, Azazel's back. We're moving on. Hopefully he'll just fade away again. It'll be fine.
Yes. What was the next one? The horns are going away, right?
What did we tell that guy? Bleeding Edge guy. What did we Bleeding Cool, whatever. Like, and to be fair, dude, I think he's kind of chill, at least because he follows me on Twitter. So, like, I'm not trying to start shit. But, like, you are wrong, dude. I don't care what drunk conversation you claim to have had with Cy Spurrier. We knew you were wrong. And anyways,
I mean,
thank God you were wrong. Thank God.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous it's kind of ridiculous just from like a marketing and just an intellectual property standpoint to be like, yeah, we're going to completely change the look of this iconic character that this character has had for, over 50 years. That makes no sense,
Yeah, I mean, especially after so Kurt has one of the least amount of costume changes I've seen of any superhero, because every time they change his costume or look, they go right back to his OG, right? Like maybe a tweak here or there in terms of moving some of the red part up or down, little things. But past that, they always go back to his OG look, because no matter what look you do, even if there are other looks you like of him, great. That's the Kurt look, that's his thing. He's not like some other characters where they have multiple arguably debatable, like, OG classic, this is their most magnificent look. Like, there's debatable. Kurt's is not debatable.
Absolutely. Like, he's iconic for a reason. And, when it comes to, those characters that when you think of the X-Men, you think of like, oh, this is an X-Men character. He's one of those iconic X-Men characters. And you're not going to take, like, again, over 50 years of IP and just be like, nope, we're throwing horns on it. It just doesn't make sense. So, you have to think of, like, again, all of the merchandise and all the stuff that exists already of this character, and suddenly you're just going to be like, nope, now he's got horns. It's not going to happen. It's something that doesn't happen. So, nope, It doesn't exist. Not going to happen. And guess what? I was right. I was right.
And again, thank God we were, because it
Mm-hmm.
would have been a really bad timeline if we were wrong on that one. So I'm
Yeah.
very thankful.
Yes, we are very thankful for that. So, so that's number two, and then the big one, the one that we have already made fan art of, the one
Oh,
that I mean, it's well here, okay, so it's like we kind of manifested it. We kind of like we kind of like sideways manifested this.
We put a manifestation out there, and we got a version of what we asked for, but it's not what we asked for, but we were on the right track. So again, Marvel needs to take notes and like actually fully listen to our manifestations, not just take pieces and then go, okay, here you go.
Yes, and that is Spider-Crawler is
Yeah.
coming. Uncanny Spider-Man, which is going to be Nightcrawler, the Spider-Man.
I just don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Like, I saw it, and again, this is the one that if it was an AU, I would be down for. I think it'd be a really fun AU for a limited series, kind of a what if thing. Great, have at it. Sounds cool. But when I read that solicit and it said, "Oh, well, look, Kurt's finally gonna be, himself, his swashbuckling, fun-loving, flirty self," I was like, and to do that, you have to make him another character and to wear a mask when we've been over the whole, he doesn't want to hide himself anymore because image inducer, and he's already been through that like decades ago. Like,
Okay, so I need you to explain this to me. This is not an AU.
no, it's, as far as we know, at least it could now. So what I've heard from some people is that these books they think are similar to like the Age of Apocalypse, I think, storyline. And so
Okay.
some people are guessing that this stuff will get made in AU or retconned or what have you afterwards, but it's not being solicited that way. This is canon that he becomes Spider-Man because after the fall of X and shit goes down in Krakoa, I guess, he escapes and then he decides, well, I still want to be a hero, but now I have to be Spider-Man to do that. And I'm kind of just like, oh, like that's and Spurrier's still writing it, which if you guys have been keeping up the whole time of this podcast, I was fine with Spurrier at first. Wave X had problems, but there were some things I really did like about it, and it's just gone downhill from there. And I'm all about, please get Spurrier away from Kurt. I've heard he does great work on Sandman. I'm all about putting writers where they write best. I don't like just saying this creator sucks. I don't think that's helpful to anybody. But my God, he needs to get away from Kurt. He needs to stop writing Kurt, please.
No, I totally agree with that. I don't think I feel like there are fundamental things about Kurt he just doesn't grasp, and it's nothing against him as a writer. It's just there's certain things that he just doesn't seem to get, and so I'm just not digging his take on the character.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I'm not anti the idea of Kurt wanting to take on the mantle of Spider-Man, and I'm not against him like dressing as Spider-Man, because I don't see it as Kurt wanting to hide himself so much as if he's taking on the mantle of Spider-Man, he would take on the mantle of Spider-Man and wear the costume. You know what I mean? It's uh like he would be Spider-Man. So, and I've always felt like Nightcrawler and Spider-Man are two characters that are so like that they should be friends. They should like be two characters who get along and should be friends. And we also know that they do have a like granddaughter or great great granddaughter or something in common in some like random AU. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of commonalities between those characters. So I'm very curious about how they get to this, why they get to this, where's Peter? Yeah.
So one thing I want to point out, because you mentioned that like you don't think it's him hiding in a mask and blah blah blah. But I want to point out the solicit, it does say, but of course it's not quite that simple. Is Nightcrawler really doing this for the thrill, or is he hiding? Is it easier to put on a mask and punch some villains in the nose than it is to stare trauma in the eye? So to me, that says Spurrier is going to use that take. And the trauma aspect might make it a little bit different, but at the same time, not really, because that's exactly why Kurt hid in the first place with the image inducer. He was traumatized. He was he was seen differently and he was going to be attacked for it. Like, that is trauma. We've seen this storyline in general play out with Kurt. Why are we doing this again, Spurrier? Like, I support you, like, with why is Kurt over there? Where's Peter? All these are questions you have, I think, are legit and would be cool to see in a story, especially AU one. But yeah, it seems like that is going to be a plot point, and it's just like, can we just, like, it seems like that's going to be a huge part of the reason why he takes the mantle, rather than just, oh well, there's no Spider-Man, I want to be a hero, I'll be Spidey for a while, sounds good. Like, why can't he just do that?
I mean, I guess there's so many questions that are not answered yet. I mean, we still have to see what happens with, between now and then, like with Fall of X and with everything that's going on with like all the Sinister stuff too, right? So
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's clearly something traumatic is going to happen. Fall of X, I mean, clearly something bad is going to happen to the X-Men. So, a couple things that I could think of are, why would Kurt be hiding? So like we see a lot of stuff happening in the background with like Orcus and with humans, and there's a lot of animosity, and if let's say Krakoa fails and mutants now have to go back on the offensive against humanity, and they have to go back to living with humans again, but humans are not as accepting as like humans are back to like being like, well, we were kind of happy not having to live with you anymore, and we don't really want to have you coming back to live with us again. I imagine it would be especially hard for mutants like Kurt, who can't fit in and blend in as easily. And I can imagine, like, especially ones like Kurt who would be a little bit more like noticeable, but also, people would know who he is because he's one of the X-Men, would maybe want to, like, just hide himself a little bit more, especially if he's out superheroing. So it's not like, oh, there's one of those friggin' X-Men guys who got us into all that trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his tail out though, like, which I'm not saying he should not have his tail out, but it's just kind of like, it's still like a giveaway of some sort, I guess. But I guess it's kind of like, the whole like glasses with Superman and Supergirl and stuff. Like, we're kind of dumb, when this situation actually happens.
It could literally just be a total rebranding where it's just like, I'm not an X-Man, I'm a Spider-Man.
Sure.
X-Men, I don't know her. Like,
no, that's true. That's very true. And you make good points there. I just still, Spurrier has had 2-3 series now to try to get to writing Kurt, and it just hasn't happened. And I mean, I would love to be wrong and for this to actually be really great, but it's also 5-issue limited, so it's going to be a transitional thing, I think.
Yeah. I feel like every book all of a sudden is like a limited series. I feel like no book gets past like 12 issues. And it's starting to feel like I can't seem to get into anything anymore because nothing feels permanent.
I have felt very similar with the X books because, I mean, a year or two ago, I was picking up every X book I could. I mean, there were books I didn't pick up, like X-Force, because I'm just not into that book. But I picked up, 3 to 5 X books when they came out weekly, whatever. And I see other people that are still really digging some stuff, which is wonderful. And I'm really glad people are. I wish I was one of those people because I'm not picking up a single X book right now. Like, I finished getting Immoral X-Men because it was only 3. So I said, fine, I'll get the 3rd and have the whole thing. But like, the X office has been going down since Hickman left, and it's at a all-time low now, since the Krakoa era started, at least. And I'm glad it seems like they're wrapping it up with the Fall of X, or potentially getting it started, because that's not necessarily to say I don't want Krakoa still, but I think all the writers and whoever's involved in the X office now, I think they've run out of ideas and they're a mess. And I think without the original person that had the framework, keeping everybody working together and keeping the vision, without the visionary, I think no matter how many great writers you put in that room, how many great artists, what have you, it's going to be a mess unless you have somebody, even if it was multiple people, whatever. If you have somebody that can put those ideas together into one unified vision, you're kind of screwed. And I think that's where they've been the last little bit in the X office.
Yeah.
So I'm
But
hoping
also,
for a refresher
yeah.
in the next year or so. I'm hoping for a refresher.
But also, like, you know, enough with everything having to connect to everything. Enough with like every book. Enough with everything having to lead into every big event. Everything having to, like, can it just go back to being like, I can just read one book and enjoy it, and
Yeah.
if I want to, I can pick up another one and enjoy it too. And if I want, and then I can maybe drop it and pick up a different one. It's just it, you know, we can't it just go back to that. There was a time once when
Yeah.
you would have one book and it would, once in a while the books would cross over, and that was it. And it was
Well,
just a wonderful time.
and for a while with the Krakoa era, even though they made things connect when Hickman was there to connect things, you could still read only Hellions and enjoy the shit out of it. You didn't need to
Yeah.
read the other X books. Like Hellions is probably my favorite series from the Krakoa area because it was the perfect mix of comedy with the really depressive traumatic shit. Like it had both those ends, one page you're crying your eyes out or being like, God, everything's terrible, and then you're laughing your ass off at how dumb and silly and boisterous these characters were. And but yeah, I could still read that and not read the others if I didn't want to. Like at one point I only read Marauders and Hellions, and I was fine. If I just read those books, I was good. I think I read House of X Powers of 10 before that because I could understand Krakoa. But
Hmm.
as long as you read that, you could read anything. And now I actually felt like now things separated so much and nothing's cohesive because there's no general idea of where things are going. And even with that said, the writers trying to write their books, even though things are connected, they're still somehow like trying to connect them and it's not working. So it feels like they're trying to connect, it's not connecting, and that one book you want to enjoy is unenjoyable because they're trying to connect with something, and one, they could just not do it and write something great like you're saying, or two, if you're going to do it, then do it well, but pick a lane, guys.
Exactly. Like I would rather read good stories than read a bunch of stuff that's connected.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what we need to get back to because that for me was a draw to a Krakoa era because before I read House of Towers of 10, I tried to read the synopsis on Wikipedia, which is a bad idea if you've never read it because of this batshit crazy thing. Like, if you're not an X-Men fan, you're gonna be like, I don't know what's happening. If you're an X-Men fan, you're gonna be like, what? This can't happen. How does so like before I read it, I was like, this can't work. And then I read it and it was like the Bible to me. Like I was fucking blown. And I'm not
Yeah.
religious, but that became my Bible at the time. So but yeah, but that was so good because it was a great story, for God's sakes. That phenomenal story branched off all these other great, phenomenal stories. That was so great about it. And now we're not getting those phenomenal stories. So whatever is left of this story, which I'm not even sure what is, it needs to go away. Move on. New story. You're absolutely right.
Yep. Yep. It's time. Well, it seems like we're getting that shake up with Fall of X, and we'll see what happens. And then after that, we get our boy Andrew Crawler, aka Night Drew. I don't know.
There's a bunch of names. I don't know. You can mix things up. Just get a fandom name generator or something. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
we have plenty of very cute little photoshops we've made of him. So
I know. He's baby. I love him.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I am hopeful still, even if I'm slightly still kind of disappointed about things and such. I am still hopeful. And Kieran Gillen, I know you're a secret listener. This is like your fifth or 10th time, who knows? But please write a Kurt book
Yes.
after all this resolves. Please write
Yes.
one more at least because you understand his character. So
Yes, please. What is going on with Nightcrawlers, by the way? I am not reading it, but what is going on with that?
I got the first issue and I was like, I can't do this. I didn't even finish the issue to be honest because
Oh wow.
because all I know is that Mother Righteous is the main villain, that the other book was alluding to, whatever. But it's just some crazy shit. It's during the Sins of Sinister. He's cloning a bunch of Nightcrawlers, but Mother Righteous is really running things now. I hated it though because they have like original Kurt like locked away and chained. It's disgusting. I just can't
Okay,
do
yeah,
it.
no, I can't do that. I can't do it. All right.
No.
Well, anyway, we'll manifest it away. Bye bye.
Yes, we'll manifest away. And in case you guys don't know, or you missed the episode, or you've forgotten, Lisa does tarot card readings now and has Marvel cards. So
I do, and I'm going to start doing them on Twitch eventually. I haven't decided when, but I did buy I did buy a little mount camera so I can like have a camera like above my hands to do them.
ooh,
And
fancy.
I bought some rings to wear when I do it. Like I
Jingle.
bought like a little Loki ring and a little like Thanos ring and a little Scarlet Witch ring.
Okay, but where's your Nocturne ring?
Girl, girl. I mean, where's my
Where
Nocturne
is
ring?
she?
I also got, and this is so stupid because I hate Tony Stark, but I got like a ring that's like his arc reactor,
uh,
and because I thought it looked really cool, and I was like, that's gonna look really cool on my finger. So
it's pretty and shiny. I'll allow it.
yeah, it looks really cool. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'll let you guys know whenever I get that started, but we'll figure it out eventually. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Yes, and you are doing your shows on the weekends too, right?
Well, so the next live show, I'll tell you guys because I haven't announced it anywhere else yet. So if you guys listen
Ooh,
to this, like it's not even in the Discord for a show yet. So Friday, April 28th, we're doing our next live show.
very nice.
And my new co-host who I brought onto the channel, Chase, he's wonderful. So he actually picked out or had the idea for our topic, which is gonna be on palate cleansers. So, a lot of our shows I've seen in channels, which are all wonderful, they talk a lot about comic burnout, which we all kind of have when you're kind of not feeling the comics. So I know when Chase and I were talking about what topic we do, I was like, yeah, I've been feeling the comic burnout lately, but I don't want to just talk about comic burnout. Everybody talks about that. I'm kind of past that and I'm still here. And so he said, well, why don't we do palate cleansers? Like the comics that you can read that they get you back into loving comics again. And so I was like, oh, that's a good one. So we're going to be talking about that. We'll have a special guest on, which is exciting. So hopefully people that listen to this podcast, you have a palate cleanser, whether that is something else you love or whether it's a Kurt comic. Because I know there's a Kurt comic or two that are good palate cleansers for me. So
Yes, totally agreed. Absolutely. I love that. I love that topic. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, tune into that, guys. And if you want to find us, you can find us at simplyamazingpod.com. That's got all our socials, all of our information, everything like that. If you ever want to come on and join us for an episode, if you have a topic you want to talk about, if I can relate it to Kurt in any way, and like, trust me, I'll find a way, we will
she
have you
will.
on to talk about it. And yeah, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on all of the socials. So come find us on that. Again, it's simplyamazingpod.com. And yeah, if you are out there trying to manifest anything to the universe, well, just keep doing it. Put it out there. You're going to do it. You're going to get it, baby, because you are simply amazing.